Are you guys enjoying your session so far? Isn't this incredible? I mean, it's just kind of mind blowing to see what's ahead of us for the week. But I'm uber excited for this session. I'm uber excited for this speaker. And the reason why is that Chaz actually comes from the same city where I live. And we're Canadians, we're in Alberta, and we both live in Calgary. And it's a great, I mean, we live in God's country. We're very excited to be there. And I've been excited about this project for a long time. And I didn't get to meet Chaz until just a minute ago. But I've been excited about this project since it was announced. And so really looking forward to the opportunity to hear about USAY AR app with the Blackfoot language. So I'll be honest, I don't know any more than you guys do, and I'm going to be learning it along with you guys. But USAY app in the Thunder VR video game began as a project with the Urban Society for Aboriginal Youth, USAY in Calgary. To preserve the Blackfoot language through the VR lens of a traditional Indigenous story and evolved into a virtual novel called Thunder. Partnering with a virtual reality company Mammoth, Thunder VR is an immersive Blackfoot language and cultural learning tool. Chaz Prairie Chicken will share the story and lessons learned of the development of the app and how it is not just changing lives, but helping preserve an endangered language and culture. Now, I don't know about you, but I got chills. I read that description about, I don't know, Chaz, when was this announced? Like, am I remembering right that it was about a year ago? Or
the game itself?
Yeah, like, when I would have heard about it, was it about 9 months ago that I would have heard about it in the news when Mammoth announced?
We had it actually back in June was our launch.
John,
we had a
okay,
launch
so
event for the,
yeah, okay, so that's what I remember. And I think, like, I read a little bit about this then and was jazzed to hear more about it. And so it is an absolute thrill to have you here. So welcome to Educators in VR, the International Summit. Welcome to the stage, and I'm going to pass it over to you, okay?
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you
thanks,
so
Chaz.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Chaz Prairie Chicken. I am currently a program coordinator for the Urban Society for Aboriginal Youth. Before that, I was the administrative assistant. Before that, I was a volunteer, and even before that, I was one of their youth at in one of their programs. My friend introduced me to this organization, and at first I was kind of hesitant to participate, but she sucked me into it, and later down the road, now I work for them. I'm not sure if we want to get the slide going right away, Michael. Okay, so Urban Society for Aboriginal Youth. We are an Indigenous-led charitable organization in Calgary. We work with Indigenous youth ages 12 to 29. Mainly consists of those who may be feeling disconnected from the culture, from their language. And we have about more than 30 programs, and they consist of mentorship, traditional values, culture-based. I actually started off in the program known as ARM a while back. It is now currently known as the Indigenous Inclusion Program. So it's an open door policy with that program. Anyone's more than welcome to join. We take them on outings like bowling, laser tag. We have elders come in and talk to the youth and kind of draw them closer to the culture and the language, depending on which tribe they're from. They could be Blackfoot, they could be Cree, Ojibwe, etc. Michael, we can go to the next one. So how it all started. When I was a volunteer with USAY a while back, we took the Indigenous Inclusion Program youth to the VR-cade here in Calgary. And so the kids had a blast and they loved it, and they approached who is now my boss and said, why don't you guys get involved with VR? And so that's when they went back to the drawing board and looked over the current programs that we have, and that's when they decided to take one of the Blackfoot graphic novels that we have created over time and turned it into this VR game, Thunder. And let's see, we have about 9 Blackfoot graphic novels out so far. We are currently working on our 10th. I'm not sure if we're going to take any new ones and turn them into VR games, as I believe we are going to be moving into the production field and making short films and such like that. Okay, Michael, we can go to the next one. So with these VR experiences and the AR app itself, you can take the AR app and hover it over certain things like we have murals all around Calgary. We have New Tribe magazine. I'm on the cover of our latest edition, and when you hold up our app, and I basically come to life and I talk to you and tell you about the current edition, and then we also have LGBTQ poster that gives you more in depth of the types of genders and stuff like that, because there's like the whole LGBTQ2S plus, like it has every single letter in the alphabet, and it's a lot to take in. But yeah, with the app itself, when you hold it up to Finding Victor, the youth can utilize the app to access a portal with links that'll direct you to like local homelessness supports and resources. Okay, Michael, next slide. So Thunder was the first game that we decided to take and that was the first BGN that we decided to take and turn it into a VR game. It was a story that was told to us by the elder that we work with, Randy Bottle, and it's about the Thunder Pipe ceremony. So in the story, this man, his wife goes missing. He's knocked out by thunder, and so he goes on a journey to get her back, and on his journey he comes across animals and all sorts of helps and barriers. And the game itself teaches you a few basic Blackfoot words, like you learn a couple animals, you learn how to count to 10, and such things like that. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember what else. Yeah, and just a few other things. Like it's a totally, being that we're a nonprofit organization, we don't charge for anything. So you guys are, if you have the time, more than welcome to download this game and give it a shot. And I believe I'd say on average it's about a 20-minute. We've been in schools all throughout Calgary. We've even went down to Riding on Stone, the provincial park in southern Alberta, and have traveled. This game itself has made it into the Vancouver International Film Festival. It's made it into Imaginative in Toronto, and then also in Nashville, Tennessee, where I got the opportunity to fly out there and have people try out this VR game and give us their feedback and how we can better this game itself. Yeah, okay, next slide, Michael. So this is the trailer to the Thunder. You guys can.
Okay, my name is Sakukutu. I want to share a story with you about Tsitsikum thunder that has been with my people for thousands of years.
So again, in there, as you saw, the whole 1 to 10, and then a few animals. We try to keep it kid-friendly, and we're starting off with the younger generation with this. That's the whole point, or the reason why that we have the BGNs, was to turn them into a fun graphic novel for the younger generation to want to pick up and actually read, rather than thinking, oh, this is just another learning session. So, but to date, USAY has more than, sorry, let me just move back over here. We've had more than 7,000 people actually try out the games and experiences that we have. Last year we attended Beakerhead here in Calgary, which is kind of like a science type festival. And we had like lines, like there was no time to have any breaks. It was just constant go, 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 and everybody loved it. And I believe that's where we got a lot of our um, the word out that Thunder was actual VR game, Blackfoot learning tool for basically whoever, not just Indigenous individuals, anybody who's really wanting to learn the Blackfoot language. And Finding Victor is, when it comes to feedback, Finding Victor, it often has youth asking us, or sorry, they ask us for help and ways to avoid, like maybe if they're having a downfall and they want to avoid the barriers of becoming homeless. And then for Riding on Stone, the VR experience that we have, it has gotten like, it just blows people away. And we even got reacts, people who would get all teary-eyed and they feel bad because the site itself has been vandalized, and so now it's being protected because these petroglyphs and pictographs are like 1,000 years old. Next slide, Michael. So Riding on Stone is a 360 VR experience on the Oculus Go. It's recently became a UNESCO's heritage site located in southern Alberta. Elder Randy Bottle is he's usually a tour guide all throughout summer. We used to, USAY would take a bunch of our youth and take a weekend and go out there and camp and see the hoodoos and the pictographs and the petroglyphs and get a more in-depth history lesson on that. And also in the VR experience itself, it's narrated by Eugene Braverock, who is he plays in the movie Wonder Woman. But yeah, again, the site itself is being protected, and it's just unfortunate the fact that people felt the need to vandalize the site and write their names, write hearts, and it kind of takes away from the whole experience of knowing that these carvings were put there like thousands of years ago. Next slide, Michael. So this is a trailer for the experience itself.
Just to let you know, unfortunately, the trailer we can't watch because of it's the link, Chaz. So
Okay.
it would be wonderful if you could just explain a bit more about what we would normally see here. We can get the video to these guys after.
Okay, so in the trailer itself, you see Elder Randy Bottle. He's walking. This is known as the battle scene. He walks up towards the hoodoos, and he kind of gives you a more history behind the markings on the rocks, and again, Eugene Braverock, and you see some drone shots. So this whole experience was done in just a weekend. I believe it was a 4 day, sorry, Thursday to Sunday. We camped out there, and we had the camera on the zip line. We had a 17 lens camera for the 360 shots, and then we also had the drone shots. So it's definitely like I'd recommend you guys check out this experience just to kind of get a history lesson, but interesting. Next one, Nicole. And then Finding Victor is an escape room. So how this one started out was a few years back, I believe in 2016. It was a pop-up event. We wanted to find a way to prevent homelessness for the youth who may be facing homelessness, and we decided to turn it into a fun, interactive way. And so this event took place down in downtown Calgary, and it was open to the public. People can come, um, experience the whole escape room for themselves, and then you would find resources at the end of the game, and um, it was so successful that they had to figure out a way to get this to have it transportable. So what they were thinking, the original idea was to put it in a sea can, but when having something so big, they ran into the problem of getting it around the city. And then so when we were introduced to the whole VR and having Thunder, they decided, oh, well, maybe we can turn this um, escape room into a VR as well, which is a easier way to transport. And so with this game itself, yeah, it's made its way in and around Calgary, and I mean, I'm excited to see where the rest of these games and experience take us. But again, I think we're heading down the road of getting into production. So we'll have to see what else we can do with VR and AR. Yeah, next one, Nicole.
The whole city is a canvas. I finally finished it. Just like how they used to write on stone. This is my mark. You ever feel like a fire? Like all you can do is burn.
Yeah, so again, these games are completely free to download. However, with the Writing on Stone experience, if you would like to experience that for yourself, you're more than welcome to reach out to any one of us at USAY, and we can send you a link. The Mammoth, the company that we partnered up with for the whole AR, VR stuff, we have to go through them to get a link. But yeah, if you guys definitely want to try out the Writing on Stone, reach out to any one of us at USAY, and we'll be more than happy to set that up for you. So what's next for USAY and in the VR? We started working with the Oculus Quest, and now we want to create a immersive traditional hunting experience game called The Source. I don't know much about that one yet, just because it's still in the works. And then also with we want to create a VR gallery space that's going to consist of artwork from Indigenous youth that's created in VR. So another thing that we've been working with is Tilt Brush, I believe it's called. And that's I believe that's going to be for men. We have a women's group, so I believe that we're going to be working with males in these Indigenous youth art. Next slide, Michael. So one of the really important things to us as an organization was to have in traditional Indigenous process. We wanted to be respectful. There's a lot of protocols that you have to follow through with when it comes to the Indigenous languages and culture, just like with Thunder, when we had an elder kind of play through with us, there was a few things that he pointed out that we have to change, because there's you have to stick to the protocol, and you don't want to upset the other Indigenous elders and such like that. So when we're working with modern technology, we have to consider that there's a lot that you can do, not necessarily wrong, but if you don't follow protocols, there's a lot of backlash you can get within the Indigenous community. And I think that when the more that we can combine tradition and also remain respectful within the community, there will be new ways of engaging elders and youth to open up new doors and provide multi-generational transmission. Next slide, Michael. And so we are, this is my team here that you see. Under the, it would be your guys' right. There's my coworker and I in the school. They had a Harry Potter thing going on, so they had us wear graduation gowns and. But yeah, and then the bigger picture is my other team. Unfortunately I'm not in that picture. I was off at a conference, but the organization, we only consist of 6 people, and we roll with the big boys, as they would call it. We try to be, how do I explain this? We try to be not like the rest. We try to go above and beyond for the youth and also for the community. Next slide. I believe that might be the end of it. See the AR content. So as I was explaining, the LGBTQ poster, and then we have the New Tribe magazine that's directly behind me, and then on my left, what your guys is right is the Thunder poster. So when you download our app, USAY AR on the App Store or Google Play, and you open up the target images, you can hold it up to these 3 pictures, and it'll be augmented for you guys. I believe that might be the last one.
I think that's the last slide there, Chaz. Wonderful.
Okay, perfect.
Well, can we get some claps, some smiley faces and some hearts for Chaz, because congratulations on what a great product and a great kind of young team as well, working on such innovative tools and technologies to push forwards people's understandings and empathy in a part of culture that does exist and deserves to be recognized and not be swept along, as I'm seeing with my profession, teaching English as a foreign language, but there are many other languages which reflect whole histories and cultures and stories as well. So congratulations on a beautiful initiative. We're going to open up the floor now, and Donna, feel free as a lady from Calgary to jump in and just kick me off the stage if I'm overstaying my welcome. But we're going to do the hand raise here. So there we go. Bottom right, near your feet, we've got the raise hand button. If you have any questions for Chaz, please do click that raise hand button now. I've certainly got a few myself, and we'll wait for the questions to come through. There we go. We've got Philip again. Philip, you could just introduce yourself first, because I remember you from the last session, and then fire away with your question, please.
Hi, Chaz. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's fantastic. I'm a school librarian. I work in an international school in Bangkok in Thailand. I'm just interested in our school. As you could imagine, being an international school, the complexities of working across different cultures and being respectful and sensitive to each group and the background of each student is a challenge. Can you tell me about some of the things that you had to keep in mind in the kind of content that you're working with, but working with it in a high kind of environment? What kinds of things did you have to keep in mind?
So when it comes to ceremonies, there's certain things that you're not allowed to mention what happens within those ceremonies, and then also just two little minor things that I can't mention in the room. There's a lot of you have to be careful with what you use and what you share, just because they're so sacred to the indigenous community that it's almost like letting out a secret, but it's not. And so again, if you don't have the rights and you don't follow protocol, there's a lot of backlash that you can get from the communities, and I don't want to say that it'll destroy the whole project, but it won't look good on our part. So that's why we need to have the elders involved with everything that we do, and all the teachings that we share do come from the elders themselves. So that's why it's always good to have an elder present within our organization and everything that we do.
Right. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Philip. Anybody have any other questions? You've got the raise hand button there, bottom right. Feel free to click that. Now's the time to ask Chaz the question. As we wait for more questions to come through, Chaz, I've got one for you as well. So you spoke about, and one of the kind of great things about the projects you're working on is the way it cuts across a whole number of themes, as we said, kind of culture, history, identity, inclusion, and of course technology as well. And the technology really is the vehicle to kind of bring all that together. What are you seeing outside of that community itself? I mean, you spoke a lot about the great work you're doing, but is there anything that you're doing to raise the awareness outside of those kind of communities for young and old people in your region about your culture?
I think right now, just because we mainly deal with youth that are in with the whole tech world, and that was one of the main reasons why we decided to not only go with the VR but also AR, was to make reading more fun and interactive, right? Because if you take the Pride poster, you're going to see a bunch of words, and then you'll see some characters, but you're kind of just going to be like, okay. I'll move on about my day. But then you see it says how to use this poster. You download our app and you're gonna want to hold it up and see, okay, well what does this do? What's the whole thing about having an app for a poster? Right? And even with the New Tribe magazine, how it says, see this cover come to life. You're gonna scratch your head for a second and think, what do you mean by come to life? Again, download the app, hold the app up, and it'll be augmented for you. So right now, AR, our main focus, just because we deal with youth who are so into video games and their smartphones that are always constantly in their hands. So I think as of right now, that is our focus, but being that we're going to be working with productions and short films and such like that, we're thinking of more ways, and not only sticking to AR and VR, but more ways to kind of interact with everybody, not just a specific group.
Sure, amazing, well done. Yeah, another one of my again questions are on, so please raise your hand if you have any as I wait for those to come through. I'll add as well that one of my kind of personal hobbies is genealogy, like researching family history where I'm from, and it's amazing that when you kind of bring history in a kind of a meaningful way to yourself or other people, how you can spend, you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning and still researching this stuff. And I guess maybe that's the kind of magic of what you're doing, is that it's not just teaching about history and culture, it's something, it's maybe unearthing that kind of that deep desire to actually search for one's identity and where one comes from as well. And I guess that's maybe some of the feedback that you're getting from the community itself, is it?
Yeah. I think with the Writing on Stone experience, Eugene mentions in there that there's a lot more other places like that have been undiscovered, and they will most likely remain undiscovered. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but with bringing this experience to people who have never been or even heard of Writing on Stone, I think is great, just because you get to see the reactions and getting the opportunity to share this historical part with people. They now want to make the trip out to go and see it for themselves, right? Because they never knew it was there, so they want to actually see if these markings are actually a real thing or if it's just
amazing. And it's also, again, like we saw with the Notre Dame Cathedral last year, I think it was now, wasn't it? The fire there, how we kind of maybe underestimate the effects of the sands of time, of how accidents and maybe kind of external events can, you know, wipe away particular parts of our history as humanity. And I guess that's the great thing with what you're doing. It's making sure that that is not lost through the technology. And you mentioned about the vandalism as well, unfortunately, in that zone. And, you know, hopefully the VR can, not just build kind of cultural bridges, but actually preserve digital or create digital twins of these places that in future maybe is the only way we can visit these places. So I guess that's quite interesting as well from my perspective. I've got another question now. I'm asking all the questions here, everybody. Come on, help me out. Here's my other question. If I'm asking too many, just give me some sad faces and I'll jump off the stage. The other question is about advice that you would give. So obviously the people out here, Philip himself works in a foreign country for him out in Thailand, he's Australian, but is there any advice that you could give to fellow global communities who are part of maybe an endangered language or minority language group or indigenous? What advice would you give them if they were kind of looking to do what you were doing? What would be those first steps, do you think?
I think making it more fun and interactive, like how we have been, making people actually want to learn and reach out and get a hold of if it's books that you're creating or programs, games, videos, whatever it is. Make them want to actually be like, hey, how do I get this? Like with Thunder, we've just before we left for the holidays and Christmas, we had so many bookings that my co-worker and I have been running in and around Calgary, showing the VR game off. Again, just like making it fun, interactive, and be new, I guess. Be the people who think outside of the box. Don't just stick with textbooks and flashcards. Make it fun. Again, like how we created a VR game. That's unheard of, especially with indigenous languages. So that's why we get a lot of positive feedback, and people are just blown away because we're one step ahead of our surrounding organizations.
Yes, yeah. And if, surprise, surprise, I've got another question. If like this game didn't exist, and how ordinarily would people be learning those words, like animals and numbers? I mean, to me, they seem quite basic words. Obviously, that's like lesson number one of any foreign language or any language that you are looking to learn. So I imagine part of that might come from their own family, of course, but how else would you learn the Blackfoot language if it were not for your tools?
If we didn't have the VR game or the Blackfoot graphic novels, I believe we would most likely be reaching out to fluent Blackfoot speakers, like the elders and people who have learned over time. Like growing up, I went to an indigenous elementary school, and so I learned Blackfoot from grade 1 all the way to grade 6. And after I left that school, that's when my learning of the Blackfoot language stopped, and so I kind of disconnected from that. So I'm glad to be a part of this Thunder and the VR game because I can learn a little more Blackfoot myself. Right? There's words in the game that I never knew how to say or knew what it was, and so. Again, it would just be the fluent Blackfoot speakers, and even if there is a class that people may be teaching, but it's very rare, being that the Blackfoot is one of the languages that tend to be dying out.
Yeah, okay. It's funny because I think it was last year, Michael Higgins, the Irish president, he invited, I think, the 6 or 7 team members that were involved in the creation of the Duolingo Irish language program. If you're familiar with Duolingo, give me some happy faces. Good, there's a few hand raises out there. And he invited those, I think, mostly American-based kind of educators who were helping create this e-learning courses on the Duolingo phone app. And he invited them over there to congratulate them of the work they'd done, because there were more people learning the Irish language than native speakers in Ireland who speak Irish. And it kind of was, he kind of noticed it was almost like a renaissance of the Irish language at the moment, thanks to the technology. That again, because languages like English, kind of some of the heavyweight lingua francas out there that had kind of maybe pushed out of the mainstream. So, that again, who's to say that in future we won't be seeing a Blackfoot language Duolingo program? I hope to see that there as well. You definitely need to get in contact with them.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be next year. You'll be presenting on the successes of that application as well. We look forward to having you. Are there any questions out there? If Philip is here, Philip, are you there? Oh, he's disappeared. He's probably gone back to the library shelves. Yeah, he's gone. Okay, I wanted to ask him a question. I've got a question for you guys now here. Is there anything that you want to ask Chaz? Is there any advice you might give him? Maybe you coming in, it's from a development perspective or a kind of a research perspective as well. You've got some experience that you think could benefit Chaz and his team. Raise your hand, give us some emojis, and we can come to you. Otherwise, I think we're going to begin to close. And that was a wonderful opportunity for us to hear about your work, Chaz. So that's it. Everybody, feel free to mingle. Thanks again for your time today, Chaz.
So much.
There we go. Claps, hearts. We like all of those. Good. So we'll invite him back next year and see even more success that they've seen out there in Calgary.